I'm not okay with it. Hawaiians are not okay with it. We're done with this shit. Aloha everyone. Today's video is going to be different than my usual videos, mostly because I'm pissed. I'm fucking pissed. Let me explain why. So Kim Kardashian, under KKW Beauty, her brand just released an eyeshadow palette called SOOO FIRE, a collection of really beautiful red-toned eyeshadows for any makeup artists out there. I know I don't talk about makeup a lot on my channel, but this was a topic that I absolutely needed to say. In my mind, Kim Kardashian has gone way too far. This is not appropriate at all, and someone needs to speak up about it. So I figured, why not use my channel and my influence to talk about this important topic, because it needs to be addressed, and Kim needs to be called out for what she's doing. Now, upon immediately seeing this eyeshadow palette, I really didn't have a problem with it. The colors looked beautiful. I was impressed by the selection until I looked at the shade names, two of which use Hawaiian words, the first being shade Kilauea and the second being Pele's Curse. And when I saw these shade names, I immediately became enraged. And I know you guys may be thinking, Hiram, why are you so upset about something like this? There are a few reasons why, and I want to describe them to you guys so you understand why using these shade names in her palette is completely inappropriate, especially right now with everything that's going on, and the reason why I'm calling Kim out for this bullshit. I want to give you guys a little bit of context. Hawaii is largely seen as a tourist destination where you can go, have a blast, do some incredible things with some incredible views, but not many people realize that Hawaii was once a sovereign nation and is an entire culture that is currently trying to stay alive within the Hawaiian Islands. Hawaiian culture and Hawaiian language are extremely sacred and not to be messed with. Whenever I hear anyone speaking Hawaiian or using Hawaiian words, I always feel like this deep level of respect in my heart, because not only is the language and the culture so beautiful, but I know that it is so sacred and so important to Hawaiian people, and it's something that should not be used in any other context than respect. Why is the Hawaiian culture and language so sacred? Because, like I said, Hawaii was once a sovereign nation that was illegally overthrown by the US government. I'm not exaggerating when I say this. Most people don't realize the history of Hawaii, but it is very dark, very terrible, and very sad. I'm not going to make this video a history lesson, so if you do want to learn more about the overthrowing of Hawaii, I have linked some videos in the description box below that I really like. Please go watch them to educate yourselves about what Hawaii used to be and what it is now. But ever since Western influence came into contact with the Hawaiian Islands, Hawaiian culture and language have been extremely oppressed. There are countless moments in history where people have tried to completely eradicate Hawaiian culture and completely ban Hawaiian language from being spoken. Now, with the sacredness of the language being in mind, let's talk about the shade name. The first being Pele's Curse. If you don't know who Pele is a Hawaiian goddess or deity. She is the Hawaiian goddess of volcanoes and the reason that Hawaii exists, because volcanoes created Hawaii. Pele is very, very sacred to Hawaiians, and understandably so, because if you look at any culture and their deity, gods and goddesses are always held as very sacred to any culture. Hawaiians treat the name Pele with a lot of respect. But Hawaiian gods and goddesses are extremely sacred to Hawaiians, even more so than a lot of other cultures, because of how under attack Hawaiian culture has been and how people have tried to eradicate it in the past. With that in mind, using any name of any Hawaiian god or goddess always has to be said with a lot of respect, considering the history and the level of sacredness attained to these people. The second shade name is Kilauea. Kilauea refers to the most active volcano in Hawaii, specifically in the Big Island, and it's responsible for the destruction of over 600 homes within the last few years because of how active the eruptions have been. Now, volcanoes are seen as manifestations of Pele, the goddess of volcanoes, and seen as very beautiful to Hawaiian culture. While yes, there has been destruction, volcanoes are the reason that Hawaii exists, so you can understand why it's regarded with such sacredness. But this is also a very sensitive name because of how many people have lost their homes and are still experiencing homelessness because of the things that have happened in the last few years due to the Kilauea eruptions. It's a really sensitive topic and something that people are really careful when they talk about. Now, right away, I want to say I am not Hawaiian. I am not local. I currently live in Oahu and Honolulu. I love Hawaii. It's become my home for the past 4 years, but I am not from Hawaii, nor am I Hawaiian. I am Hale. If you don't know what Hale means, Hale is basically a term applied to people who are visitors to Hawaii, which in my opinion is anyone who was not born and raised in Hawaii, but also especially white people, of which I happen to be both. Just your typical Hale piece of shit. No, I'm kidding, but yes, I am haole. This being said, I have been in contact with my local Hawaiian friends who are all enraged about this situation, and because of how much I respect Hawaiian culture and want to contribute to the preservation of the culture for as long as possible, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to spread the message of our Hawaiian brothers and sisters. I really just figured, why not use my influence, even as a haole, and talk about this subject for what it is. Now, the first reason why it's so problematic that Kim used these shade names in the palette is because they are Hawaiian words. Like I said, Hawaiian words are treated with such sacredness and respect. So the fact that she and her team are using them as kind of like a cute way to name red shades in her eyeshadow palette is extremely disrespectful. There's no effort being made to educate people about Hawaiian culture, to educate people about Hawaiian language or the sacredness surrounding it, and no reference made to Hawaii whatsoever, except for the fact that she is using sacred Hawaiian words in this palette. The second reason this communicates a problem is because it is extremely ironic that Kim Kardashian is using these shade names as a way to market and profit off of Hawaiian culture. If you have ever been to Hawaii, you understand that it is a huge tourist destination, and I am grateful for this in part because I am employed by a tourist business, and I'm grateful for the amount of people that come through Hawaii because they fund my lifestyle and they support the reason why I'm able to live here and love living here so much. However, ever since tourist capitalism was introduced to Hawaii, Hawaiians have had a really difficult time preserving their culture and their language, especially because businesses love to exploit Hawaiian culture and Hawaiian language as a way to kind of present a fantasy to tourists who are coming through. Instead of being seen as a legitimate culture, these things are being presented in a way that almost makes a mockery of Hawaiian culture and is seen as something that tourists can just use for their fun, all to create their fantasy with no regard for responsibility or sacredness to it whatsoever. It's really ironic because Hawaiians have struggled for so long preserving their culture in a balance with capitalism, and the fact that Kim K is using her business to profit off of Hawaiian terminology is really messed up. A lot of people may not understand this irony. I think it's really something that you have to be in Hawaii for to understand, because the relationship between Hawaiian culture and tourism is very bad, and one built solely on exploitation and monetary gain. The third reason why it is a bad idea for Kim to do this is because of the protests that are going on right now in Hawaii. If you aren't aware, an organization called TMT is trying to build a massive telescope on Mauna Kea, the tallest mountain in Hawaii on the Big Island. Mauna Kea is regarded as an extremely sacred site to Hawaiian culture, and due to telescopes being built on top of the mountain in the past, the environmental structure of the mountain, the animals who live there, the plants on there, have been destroyed by this influence, and introducing a new, even larger, more massive telescope will only deplete from the natural resources of the sacred mountain. A lot of people are like, whatever, it's just a mountain, but you guys do not understand the importance of this. It's like if someone was to introduce building a huge, massive telescope on top of Notre Dame Cathedral, Stonehenge, Machu Picchu, Greek temples, the fucking White House. It is a direct middle finger to Hawaiian culture to introduce this, and Hawaiians are very mad about it, rightfully so. So a lot of protests have been going on for the past couple weeks about this. It is extremely ironic to me that in the middle of all the protests that are going on, a direct result of Hawaiian culture trying to be diminished, Kim K would release this eyeshadow palette that negatively profits off Hawaiian culture. It's just, like the timing is so bad. Like, really, girl, really? That is not appropriate. And honestly, my thoughts on this are, girl, if you're going to use these shade names, at least use it as an opportunity to educate people about Hawaiian culture. Use a portion of the profits to donate to people who have lost their homes and are currently homeless because of the Kilauea volcanic activity. Or use it to donate to an organization that preserves Hawaiian culture and works to keep the Hawaiian language alive for as long as possible. Something, anything, literally do anything to show respect to Hawaiian culture. But that's not being done, and that's why I have a significant problem with this situation. Hawaiians are so used to constantly being oppressed, and they have had to unjustifiably fight for the survival of their culture. So for anyone who's watching, please be empathetic in this situation. What she is doing is not right, and her company needs to make a change. At the very least, change the shade names. That's really all Hawaiian people are asking for. But in addition to that, if you really want to show that you actually care, Kim, please use a portion of the profits to donate to struggling Hawaiian organizations, or use it as an opportunity to educate yourself about Hawaiian culture and how sacred it is. Please do anything. If you want to be controversial, literally pick anything else than sacred culture. That is just something that you should not mess with in any way, and she's managed to do it. Whew, okay, I'm really fired up, but I really hope you guys were able to learn something from from this video. And to all my Hawaiian brothers and sisters out there, I really hope that I used my voice in an appropriate way and I tried to do justice as much as possible in order to keep your culture alive, and I hope I can continue doing that. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you can see my videos every single week. Normally I talk about skincare, but sometimes I talk about other topics like this. Thank you guys. Mwah.